Okay. Do I just... okay, yeah, cool. My name is Curtis, and this is the account of my time working at Bodacious Burger, which used to be located on the interstate between Wolf Bluff and Bridgeport.
From the universe of Longtime First Time, welcome to the Nightmare Shift. Episode 1, Don't Go to Bodacious Burger.
I guess this was probably 2 or 3 years ago. I had just started school at the community college in Bridgeport and I needed a job. Classic setup, right? A broke college kid takes a minimum wage fast food job and spooky shit happens to him. I mean, I'm sure you've heard this a million times, but I don't know, you never think it'll happen to you. I mean, not really, at least. Sorry, I guess I should just get started. Bodacious Burger was a weird off-brand burger restaurant with a few locations in the area. None of them really seemed to be that popular. I remember going to one in the warehouse district with my friends after football games, and the vibe was just always a little off. Like we'd roll into the parking lot and there'd be people standing in the drive-thru lane just shouting their orders into the speaker box, but the only thing that would come out the other end would be this weird chant. Or one time, one of the workers was standing inside the dining room with her face pressed against the glass, smiling this, creepy smile. I mean, when you grow up in Wolf Bluff, you kind of just expect strange stuff to happen, but... I mean, yeah, that was weird. The Wolf Bluff Bodacious Burger closed by the time I graduated high school. Okay, sorry. So when I moved away for school, I needed a job, right? And at the time, I was living in the basement of a friend's house off one of those access roads along the highway. And just down the road from his house was what must have been the last remaining Bodacious Burger, shining its obnoxiously yellow and pink sign along the otherwise deserted stretch of highway. It was one of those ones that was built into a gas station. And the place always reminded me of the alien parasites from the movies I'd watched when I was a kid, because the restaurant literally seemed to be growing out of the gas station, gradually consuming it until they shut down the gas station side entirely. When I told my friend I was thinking about getting a job there, he laughed. I mean, when he realized I was serious, he looked me dead in the eyes and told me it was a bad idea. I could literally see tears welling in his eyes. Look, man, you know there's some weird shit around that place. People going in and not coming out. Employees bashing their heads against the wall until their skulls cave in. The cops won't even answer calls from that place anymore. I know you need the cash, but I can guarantee you don't need it that bad. You know, then he leaned in close. Seriously, bro, don't go to Bodacious Burger. I mean, admittedly, despite how serious he was, I couldn't help but laugh. I mean, and not because I didn't believe him. Like I said earlier, I saw some weird stuff at the one in Wolf Bluff, but I mean, you know how teenagers are. They think they're invincible. Sorry. Okay. Sorry again. I know it's douchey, but I'm just trying to get used to not smoking, okay? I mean, you know what they say, replace the ritual. Okay, so the next day, I drove to Bodacious Burger to get an application. You ever walk into a place and just immediately get the creeps? Imagine the feeling when you're alone and you're sure someone's watching you, and then multiply it by 10 or 100. Of course, in my case, I felt the eyes of the entire restaurant lock onto me as soon as I opened the door. I walked over to the counter. Behind it was this guy with greasy, scraggly brown hair just barely covered by a Bodacious Burger visor. I asked him for an application, just trying to sound normal even though the little voice in my head was screaming at me to run. I mean, he said he had to go get the manager because he didn't handle things like that. The guy opened the door behind the counter and he disappeared into it. Have you ever really stopped to notice the people who frequent fast food restaurants during the off hours? I'm talking about the people that eat at 3:30 or so in the afternoon. I mean, you have some usual suspects, right? Like the kids who are getting out of school or meeting their friends for a shake or something. The mom who just needs to feed their kids before practice. trucker who just muscled his way through normal lunch hours and is just now taking his first lunch break of the day. But then you have the real weirdos. The guy in the corner, like lifting up his shirt and preemptively injecting his insulin into his pot belly so he won't keel over in the fiberglass booth that's literally straining beneath him. Or the drifter slumped over the table near the exit who you really hope is still breathing and not about to be someone's first experience with a dead body. I mean, probably the most unnerving. The little old lady, all prim and proper, who's sitting alone in the middle of the restaurant staring directly at you with a giant smile on her face, all cold with unblinking eyes. Sorry, I feel like I'm getting off track. Okay. All right, so eventually the guy comes back with the manager in tow. The manager looks me up and down and motioned for me to follow him. He led me into the office, and after taking a seat, he slid a paper application across the desk to me. As I filled it out, he started asking me questions. You know, the normal stuff like, have you ever worked in food service before? How are you with people? Do you have any preferences when it comes to when you work? So I explained to him that I was a college student, and I just had to work around my, class schedule. He nodded, and leaning back in his chair, he asked me, how do you feel about overnight shifts? And before I could answer, he started explaining how easy they were. Stuff like, no one really comes in here at night after 8 p.m. We're drive-through only, and even then, I could count on one hand the number of cars that come through. It would be a cakewalk. Plus, night shift employees get paid extra. I loved that. Okay, look, I know how this sounds, and I can tell by the look on your face what you're thinking. We've all seen this movie before. But I was broke, okay? And I was already a night owl, so I figured why not? Extra pay, low commitment, what could go wrong? Plus, I could quit anytime, so it's not like I was signing my soul away or anything. So, I handed the manager my application. He took a brief glance at it, and with a smile on his face, he reached out his hand and said, "You're hired. Can you come by later tonight for training?" I mean, admittedly, it all felt a little fast for me, but if it meant that I could start making money immediately, how could I say no? So, around 7 that night, I came back. The manager met me at the door and whisked me into the back room. Sitting in the middle of the greasy linoleum floors was one of those old carts with a TV strapped to it. I commented on how old school that was. The manager laughed and said that not everyone has McDonald's money. He sat me down and explained that I'd watch a video and then go man the drive-thru. He said everything was pretty intuitive and that considering it was a Wednesday night, I shouldn't expect much, if any, traffic. I thought it was a little odd that there wouldn't be someone else to help me with my first night, but maybe it shouldn't have. I mean, again, Bodacious Burger wasn't really known for doing things the conventional way. So, anyway, the manager bent down and popped a DVD into the player beneath the TV, gave me a smile, and left. On the screen was a guy in a Bodacious Burger uniform. Its bright pink and yellow details were washed out by the lighting in the video. A name tag on his chest said Travis.
Hello! So, tonight's the night. We are so excited you decided to join the Bodacious Burger team. We may not be the most well-known burger chain in the world, but we might just be the most unique. Here at Bodacious Burger, we try to make sure our customers have a truly tubular experience. However, to do that, our staff must be in top shape. You've already taken the first step by filling out that application. Let's jump right into some rules you'll find really come in handy.
On the screen, Travis was standing by a register with the drive-thru window at his back, and a customer waited in the car behind him.
Giving our customers truly bodacious service is our #1 goal. From people enjoying their food in our dining room to our friends who are on the go, we try to make every customer wonder why they eat anywhere else.
The video cut to Travis standing in front of the windows that looked out into the deserted parking lot. Outside, things had changed from day to night.
So, what happens if you find yourself here after dark?
Travis walked over to the front door and calmly locked it.
Our night shift employees are our most underrated workers. The day starts as soon as everyone else's ends, and we couldn't be more appreciative of all that they do. If you're watching this tape, that means you decided to join a short list of some of our bravest employees we've ever had. So, how do you make it till the sun rises? I'm glad you asked.
Video cut to Travis standing back at the drive-thru area with the headset on. The window behind him was dark.
Rule number 1. If someone comes through the drive-thru asking for a manager, don't answer. Just step back, stay quiet, and wait until they leave. No matter what they say, they're not really looking for a manager. Keep in mind, they can be really persistent, but no matter what they say or who they claim to be, don't answer them. They'll go away eventually, hopefully.
Then it cut back to Travis standing by the windows at the front of the restaurant. A pair of headlights flashed at him. Never breaking eye contact with the camera, he closed the blinds.
Rule number 2. If a car parks just outside the front door, turn off all the lights and hide under the counter. Think of it like a quick little break. You'll know it's safe when the car is gone. Don't peek. Just wait. If you hear banging on the door or someone calling for help, don't answer. Trust me, you'll be the one needing help if you let them in here.
Travis wiped his brow, and it was then I noticed he was missing 2 fingers on his left hand. Do you mind if I just... Thanks. The video then cut to Travis standing outside the restrooms with the large ring of keys in his hand.
Rule number 3. Lock the restrooms at night. Even if you hear someone knocking, don't open the door. It's just the pipes. It's always the pipes. Or, well, hope and pray that it is. That's strange.
I could hear the sound of something banging against the restroom door in the video. Travis pressed himself against it and forced a smile. And his nose started bleeding.
See what I mean? Boy, we just had a plumber come look at those pipes. Guess we should ask for our money back, huh?
This time it was like Travis was trying to signal something with his eyes to the camera. I could see tears rolling down his cheek. The video then cut to Travis standing in front of the door marked supplies, basement, do not enter.
Rule number 4. Don't go in the basement. We all love an adventure, but believe you me, that's an adventure you won't come back from. There's something down there. Please let me go home. Someone will come looking for me.
The video then cut to a black text card reading technical difficulties. I mean, admittedly, at this point, I was starting to feel a little, uncomfortable. I reached for the remote that the manager had left on the cart, and I paused the video. I mean, I could feel my armpits starting to sweat, and my knees were shaking. I closed my eyes, and I took a few deep breaths. I didn't know what else to do, but then... but I guess I was a glutton for punishment back then, because I restarted the video. Travis was sitting in the same room that I was now. Okay, he was tied to a chair, and his face was swollen and bloody. I could see him force a smile despite how distorted and broken his face was.
Rule number 5. Whatever you do, don't try to leave before sunrise. I know how tempting it is to want to run, but trust me, you won't get far. No one ever does.
Then Travis leaned to his left side and he spat out what looked like a couple of teeth. He turned back to the camera.
From all of us at Bodacious Burger, welcome, and have a bodacious time.
Whoever was holding the camera put it down on what I'm guessing was a chair, and they walked towards Travis.
Why are you doing this to me? Stop!
They were heavy set, right?
What are you doing?
Wearing a white shirt and khaki pants. I could see a dagger in the person's back pocket.
Why do you want to do this?
They reached for it, and after saying what seemed to be like a quiet prayer, they swiped it across Travis's neck. Travis's throat erupted with blood, spraying the man with the dagger, and I jumped from my seat, knocking over my chair and almost falling onto the hard linoleum floor. And I watched as Travis went limp in his chair, man. The man with the dagger, he turned to face the camera, and... can you hand me water, please? Sorry, this just brings back a lot. The guy facing the camera was the manager. I felt all the blood drain from my face. He picked up the camera and he moved it in close, capturing Travis's lifeless eyes. Then I heard the manager making like a clicking sound with what must have been his mouth. Then the door behind Travis's chair slowly creaked open. I stopped and looked behind the TV, and it was the same door marked Supplies Basement Do Not Enter. Okay, then in the video, a scaly, distorted creature kind of like slunk out from behind it and over to Travis's body. It scanned and surveyed the body before unhinging its jaw and taking a horrific bite out of Travis's torso. Then the video cut out. Then I heard the door behind me creak open. Slowly, I reached for the phone in my pocket. I turned, and standing in the doorway was the manager, holding the same dagger he'd just used in the video. I could still remember his eyes, swollen and reptilian. He made his way into the room, calmly shutting the door behind him. He asked me if I had any questions, and I shook my head, trying not to make any sudden movements. The manager smiled and motioned for me to come closer. I just stayed where I was. He smiled and said that he knew I was confused, probably even scared. He said it was normal. Then he motioned for me to sit down. I think that he could tell what I was planning on doing, because then he shook his head and said that I could try, but if I did, I'd end up just like Travis. Besides, he had no reason to hurt me. According to him, I hadn't broken any rules. I asked him what he meant, and he motioned again for me to sit down. So I sat down. The manager sat a chair in front of me and let out a long exhale. He explained that the gas station where this Bodacious Burger was added was built right on the border of Wolf Bluff and Bridgeport. Because of that, whatever weird shit that exists in Wolf Bluff can still reach it. The manager explained that all of the Bodacious Burger locations were a little different, depending on which part of town they were in. The one in the warehouse district was known for weird paranormal occurrences. Like possessions, ghosts, shit like that. The one that was on the other end of the highway was known to make people, go nuts and murder whoever they were eating with. Then he made a joke about how it was like eating at a certain restaurant in the state where it was founded and how it was different than eating at a franchise location somewhere else. The manager explained that this location was like a nature preserve. He slowly peeled back his face, revealing slick, glistening scales. He untied this plastic prosthetic that gave his nose structure, and it showed this reptilian nose underneath. I pissed myself a little, man. He smiled at me, and he told me not to be ashamed. Everyone has the same reaction the first time. He explained that along with the creature from the video, who he'd later referred to as his mate, was part of some species that lived in the woods that border Wolf Bluff, and that, as the woods changed and gradually introduced new predators, they were slowly heading towards extinction. He told me to think of them as refugees. I know how this sounds, but you have to believe me, I saw this with my own eyes. This giant, talking lizard creature told me that he was from the woods, and that this Bodacious Burger location was the only thing keeping him and his mate from extinction. Sorry, it's just been a long time since I had to think about this, okay? I'm probably messing this up. The manager went on to explain that the reason for the rules was that at one point, all the employees of Bodacious Burger were members of his species. Gradually, they were killed by the other predators from the woods that figured out they were on this side of the border. They made the rules so that the humans who had to take over the night shift wouldn't let one of them in to finish them off. I asked if that's what Travis had done. The manager took a long, deep breath and put down the dagger. He said that Travis had gotten spooked by what was happening at Bodacious Burger. I, of course, asked what that meant. The manager sighed and explained that they had to feed every 13 days. But instead of eating into the burger supply and thereby literally eating into their profits, they had to get creative. So they'd put up a help wanted sign or post on the internet about needing workers. And well... May I see that? That face, that look, I know what I'm telling you sounds crazy, okay? Okay, God. Sorry. Screw it, hey, can I smoke in here? Please? I mean, you wouldn't believe what I went through to get these. Oh God, there we go. Okay. So at this point, I'm sure that he's going to take the dagger and cut my throat like he did to Travis. Instead, he looked me dead in the eyes and told me I had a choice. I could either play nice and do my job, or I could find out what it's like to be digested by a creature so old she remembered hiding in a swamp as the dinosaurs were vaporized by the comet. What did he mean by play nice and do my job? So... Jesus, okay. So the night shift worker's job is to... Well, remember when I said that this Bodacious Burger was on the interstate? Well, who frequents a burger chain late at night? Truckers, hitchhikers, runaways. Usually people who wouldn't be missed. They wander in, you let the manager know, and well... I mean, what did you think happened to those gas station workers? I guess Travis had grown a conscience or something. Hey, don't look at me like that. Okay, I don't make the rules. What did I do? Well, I'm sitting here, all right? When I gave the manager my answer, he smiled and reached out his hand. I forced a smile and extended mine. Before I knew it, he had my hand pinned to the chair next to me. He reached for the dagger, and before I could even scream, he cut off these 2 fingers. I mean, I felt the hot, searing pain of the amputation site travel all the way up my arm. The manager put his rancid, reptilian finger to his lips and shushed me. I mean, he said that I was in this with him. You don't have to ask. Okay, yeah. I helped him find food. The first one was the worst. Some runaway from Bridgeport. He'd hitchhiked, stopped in for something to eat. You should have seen this kid, man. Rain-soaked, shivering. Parents weren't around for him. You know how it is. I mean, Jesus, I could still hear his screams sometimes when I'm alone. I mean, the others, they were mostly drifters that no one would miss. I know, that doesn't make it any better, right? But I've got to find a way to sleep at night, okay? So, I bet you're wondering how I got out. How did little old Curtis get himself out of this one? Did I rise up one day and kill my captors? Did I go to the cops? I think you know the answer to that one. I mean, I'm here, right? I mean, Jesus, how long have I even been in this place? I mean, you guys must have taken care of those things at Bodacious Burger. But that means you can let me go, right? I mean, I've told you everything I know about them. You guys have resources, right? Look, I just want to see my parents. They're still alive, right? Oh God, how far does this thing go? Look, I've been very cooperative, right? I mean, I just want to... No! Hey, come on, no! Are my parents okay? Where's my mom? I don't want to go back there, please, no!
The Nightmare Shift is created and curated by Austin Fields and produced by KNUCKLEDRAGGER Studios. This episode was written by Austin Fields and features Cole Pendry as Curtis and Max Pattison as Travis, with creature vocalizations by Ty Leach. Sound design, mix, and score by KNUCKLEDRAGGER Studios. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all the terrifying things happening in the Wolf Bluff audio universe. Also, leaving a rating and review really helps us out. And of course, always remember, the woods are theirs and the town is ours.